I Ghanatube so Elzia form dot for slow message so Emma aqua bium. Matna CD na a rear in some ahudo and coso ewo or my ganim na enzem parano main train so and famamono. Yabaka could see in some ahudo dia ecoso ewo or my ganim.
Racing to secure billions of cedis to buy liquid fuel for power generation, with the country having less than 3 days worth of fuel left. He's set to make a last-ditch effort to secure funds from cabinet to avoid national power shutdown.
Thank you, Chairman. Today, as I sit here this morning, my headache is how to get the next parcel of liquid fuel. The fuel we have to take us 2.6 days. We've placed order for fuel, but it has to be paid. We've procured some fuel on credit and working with the Ministry of Finance to pay. But the truth is that the Ministry of Finance also has its limits. And so we'll be going to Cabinet to discuss how we can improve on the sector. And that is why we are pushing for some private sector participation in ECG's operations. It does not entirely solve the problem, but it takes us to another level. Because if the collections are reduced from the 40% to say 5%, it means that we'll be collecting more. Cabinet has also adopted a position, and we'll brief you, Chairman. All MMDAs are supposed to pay for their electricity bills. They have to budget for it. We've identified what we call critical institutions. They include the health sector, the education sector, the security agencies, and the presidency. Even with that, so if you take the health sector, is the theaters, the laboratories, the wards that will be exempted. If you take the educational institutions, dormitories are not part, restaurants are not part, only lecture theaters. And so we've classified that, and Cabinet is granting the approval and will publish that. Even what we term as critical institutions, the Minister of Finance will have to budget for it and pay.
Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante is at this workshop and has joined us with more details. Kweku, tell us, what has the minister been saying? What is causing him sleepless nights?
Well, there is also the big matter of debt, and that means that currently go right behind me. The debt situation in the energy sector. The minister has been attempting to talk about it for so many different occasions. For instance, talks about the fact that the government spent about 24 billion Ghana cedis in the last year alone to deal with under-recoveries and subsidies in the energy sector. That debt is expected to go up to nearly 30 billion Ghana cedis this year alone. Already, Power is threatening to shut down their plants for 400 million debt. It catalogs a series of debt that is currently saddled for the energy ministry. That is trying to figure that out, and that is the biggest headache right now.
Well, Kweku, again, we're learning that the ranking member on Energy Committee has been raising certain issues with big businesses. What has he been saying?
According to George about the ranking member on this committee, in his opinion, there are certain big companies that are out there that are not paying their bills. He believes that that is one of the big issues affecting the energy sector, together with the matter having to do with under-recoveries, ECB's inability to claw back all the energy it supplied and be able to get that money back and pay all the other players in the energy sector. He believes that this is a big issue. If the ECG and government are able to fix that together with the under-recoveries, the electricity company of Ghana and the power sector in general in the country will be stabilized.
Well, Kweku, I know that you also have them on record. Do you want to show us that?
Yeah, the energy minister says all the specifics having to do with the debt situation in the sector.
24 billion cedis in energy sector. Either you call it subsidies, under recoveries, or shortfalls. This year, it is estimated at over 30 billion in terms of the shortfall. Yesterday, we had a session with the finance minister, and a lot of the people here were there. We require about $1.1 billion to procure liquid fuels alone. Unfortunately, and the PRC is here, the liquid fuel is not part of the tariff structure. And so you will be buying close to $15 billion of liquid fuel, and that has to be paid by the central government because it's not part of the tariff structure. As if that is not enough, what you call the reserve margin, which is a necessity, because you just don't bring plants to meet exactly what you consume? What if one plant goes off for maintenance or any situation? That is not also part of the tariff structure. More importantly, the tariff itself, ECG is unable to collect all the monies. And so you're having a deficit of about 2 billion cedis every month when it comes to ECG's collections. When you add that deficit and you add the fuel, which is not part of the pass-through, you are looking at over 30 billion. Car Power has just sent us a letter that by 18th, they will shut down the plant because we owe them more than $400 million. IPPs alone, we owe them $1.7 billion. And so it's serious.
Most of our companies in this country, a lot of them, they don't pay electricity bills. A lot don't pay. And transmission losses also is another factor which the minister has to look at it. We are currently at around 29 to 30% transmission losses, whereby the OECD or the international sectors, their transmission losses is around 8 to 9%. So if we are able to overcome these transition losses, also is part of money, because at generation, when you generate power, okay, immediately you generate, the generator charges what he has generated. So whether you use it or not, whether it goes to the consumer or not, definitely they are going to charge us. So this is some of the areas I would like the minister to look at it, because transmission losses is killing us. I always said our tariff, currently our tariff is, when you compare to the West African sector tariff, I think we are almost at par with them. But if we are at par with them and still having all these challenges, what do you have to say? So these two critical sectors, critical areas, like the transmission losses and people who are not paying, big industries, because very few are paying electricity bills in this country. So, Mr. Minister, you have our support. We will not antagonize what you want to do for the country. We all want the best. You've been a ranking member before, and we'll collaborate with the chairman and the rest of the committee to do what is right for this country.
I was young for Madam Samudi Michi, and my cotier a year in Seminole. I mean, say, Moitié ama mo de comment me or commentation. When yes I ever mame na making kai e mamu fefefe aha eye Ghanatube subim on subscribe ya. I was young for to was and subscribe na face me a notification bell no so send a behind same no me tuma na wenya ne intempas. Mema we mfin so say obe like na afin so wa share in videos we our channel we so I was young for aha Ghanatube so wonderful snowy sisi ade makamo.